Hello, this is Miss Devoted Tiff of TiffWrightWrites, which is my author brand. And I have started to take you all on the journey with me for my first novel. It's a young adult fantasy novel, and it is based on mermaids and sea lore and sea mythology. And so, of course, that means that I have to world build. So I want to take you through a little bit of my world building process. But since this is the first full length sneak peek into my world building process, I wanted to go back first to how this concept even came into play. So, like many creatives, this concept actually came to me in a dream. I dreamed about this mermaid. I have become really good about when I wake up, if I dreamt about something that can turn into a book or a dance piece, because I'm a choreographer as well, or even a piece of content or a piece of op-ed that I can write. I write down the concept and I revisit it when it's time. So I wrote down this concept originally in 2022. I circled back to it that same summer. The week of my birthday, took a week off, and during that week I was able to do the outline of the scenes. Then life happened. And finally this year, I'm back to a place where I can really dive into my creativity and my author goals. The next step, besides creating the actual characters, is the world building. And I chose to do the world building first because I strongly believe that the world building will tell me what characters I should write in. I know that I want her to have friends, a crush, obviously her parents, her rivals, but what type of creature they are, or even what their name is, or how they play into her life at her high school, all is dependent upon the world that I create. So I went, as you saw, if you saw my clip several weeks ago, to get the research done, and the resource section of my library and my wonderful librarian gave me a lot to chew on, but there was only one of those that had a timeline on it, a deadline on it, a book I checked out in person, which I have renewed twice already. But I actually started to dive into it this time. And so today I'm going to share a little bit of my world building as it relates to this book. And it is a children's book, but it breaks down mythological creatures from every ocean, every culture. And what I loved most is because I knew I was either going to have to speak to my ancestry, have the mermaids living in a sea off of the coast of West Africa, or off of the within the Caribbean islands. This book has both. So before I start plugging inspiration from these creatures into my world, I did what I call a brain dump. I literally just gurgitated random voice notes and several pages of a Word document of questions that I wanted to have answered when I'm creating this world. Just things like, who would her rivals be? What powers would she have? What time would it be? Would there be any environmental issues with this world? And just different ways I could weave in other interests or things that people that are into being transported into another world through a fantasy book look for. And I am one of those people, so I know what we look for. While I did that originally a few months ago, I was working with my travel agent because I was taking myself on a vacation on a cruise. And I feel like I'll be able to get some writing in there while I'm on the water feeling inspired. I was asking her how she was organizing her paperwork for her travel planning business because it is new. She was saying that she used AI to help her outline things and to, write down questions and things like that. Now, I'm a writer, so I never paid much attention to AI because I don't need AI for words. But she introduced me to the other things that it could do. So I literally asked this app, what questions should you ask yourself when you're building a world? And it gave me 20 questions, and pleasant surprise, a lot of those aligned with the questions that I had asked myself in the brain dump. So what I am doing with all of the world building information is seeing if it answers or could answer the questions of my world building document. And in addition to that, I have created a spreadsheet. So for every piece of information or character or creature that I come across, I will give it its own place on the spreadsheet and decide, is this going to be a person's name? Is this going to be a group of people's name? Is this going to be an actual character? Am I going to create a character inspired by this fact or by this creature? And literally every piece of information, I'm going to plug into that, make decisions about how I want it to weave in, and then decide what characters I want to create or creatures I want to create from brand new. And then I will be able to complete all of the questions of building the world. So the first potential character for my story I found on the Sea God and Goddesses section. And there is a West African god / goddess called Olokun. And I love the blue. I love that they are in between the sea, greenery, and grass. And it says here, Olokun is the owner of the sea. Depending on the region, Olokun is either described as male, female, or as having no gender at all. They live at the bottom of the sea and symbolize the riches that come from the ocean. Perfect for world building in a sea that you want to be in West Africa. And so the two ways I am leaning towards this God being featured in my story is that either the high school is named after this god, it is Olokun High, or that this is actually a god that my protagonist descends from, or that this god is someone that she goes to for clarity or visits her in her dreams. But I definitely want to tie this in, and this makes me so excited. Thank you for coming on this journey. I'll be sharing more about the plots and the story itself on the next time. This is Miss Devoted Tiff of TiffWrightWrites signing out.